From cochlear implants to heart valves, breast implants, and artificial hips, more and more Canadians have medical devices in them or on them.
Medical devices can save lives, but when they fail, they can have life-altering consequences.
I just wanted my shoulder to work, and I didn't want any more of the pain that I was having.
The medical device business is a global industry worth hundreds of billions of dollars. But a massive investigative project spanning several countries has revealed that often those devices are approved without much testing.
I think most people would be surprised to find out how limited the evidence often is.
And when those devices fail, it's also now clear the reporting systems are sorely lacking. Just a couple of the headlines that have emerged from the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. It brought together a team of 250 journalists from dozens of news organizations around the world.
It makes sense to team up with a big team of journalists and say, why are these implants hurting the patients in our country?
But how do you convince competing organizations in the same country to work together? Ben Hallman is the chief reporter with the ICIJ. We've reached him in Washington. So, Ben, a lot of ground to cover. I want to start with the genesis of this story. Where did it come from?
So you heard on that clip from Jet Schouten. She's a journalist with Dutch public television. And a few years ago, she did an investigation in which she took a Mandarin orange bag and copied some files off the internet and took it to a regulator in Europe and asked if they would approve this as a transvaginal mesh device. That's a product that has is widely used as a subject of 100,000 lawsuits around the world, causes pain and bleeding in a lot of women, and she basically got the assurance that, except for some technical issues, that that if she were to proceed with her application, they would approve that device. So she did that story, and like a lot of investigations, they begin with one story and then kind of take off from there. She went to an ICIJ partner in the Netherlands, and then they came to us, and they thought that there was an opportunity to tell a larger story about a global system that isn't protecting patients from harmful devices.
So there are two ways you can go at this point. You can reach out to the ICIJ membership, which is news organizations and journalists as individuals around the world, and say, hey, this is this idea we tried. Why don't you try it in your country, see if it'll pass or fail the systems? Or you can do what you've done, which is to pull everybody together and essentially work in secret on amassing information before rolling out these stories. What is the value in the approach that you took?
There's a lot of different ways in which it helps to work together. I mean, we had 250 journalists on this project doing reporting and sharing that reporting with each other. So we're all learning from each other as we go. And, I think we're able to accomplish more together than we could on our own. And, we feel like by joining together and publishing at the same time, we're more likely to have more people read our stories, more people react to our stories, and have the impact that we hope to have.
One of the conversations we're having on the program this week is about the value of documents. What role did they play in this investigation?
This is, the core of ICIJ projects often are documents. With Paradise Papers and Panama Papers both were these massive leaks of data about offshore finances that, journalists combed through and found important stories. This was a slightly different type of project in that, we were using mostly public documents, and we used a sort of a massive Freedom of Information Act request effort around the world to sort of get as much documents and information as we could about the device industry and the effect that implants have on people. So, the short answer is a crucial role. I mean, I think we were able to define as best as ever been defined sort of the scope of harm and suspected harm that arises from devices that malfunction or don't work as intended.
Ben, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.